Well, I had an interesting day today. LD 1503, the bill for a green crab only wholesale license here in the state of Maine, went to public hearing. So the Marine Resources Committee talked about it. I gave testimony. Maine DMR actually spoke in favor of the bill, which I was a little surprised at. DMR sometimes doesn't seem to be fisherman friendly, but they certainly were very supportive, and I was very pleased to hear that. They made a movement to go directly to discussion, and they did, and they moved very quickly to go to voting. And at least in committee, it was a unanimous vote, ought to pass. So does not make it an act. The bill hasn't passed the full legislature, so that it will progress through the process. It'll probably have to go through having actuaries look at what the cost would be to administer this, and it would probably, it will have to go in front of the full legislature ultimately to be voted on. But I was not surprised. I was not expecting this. I was surprised, and pleasantly so. So let me just clarify what this bill does, because I am asked about this periodically. It does not change what I do, what you do as a commercial green crab harvester. We can still sell direct to the public, restaurants, markets, whomever, like we've always done. It does not change that. What it does do, however, is it gives the opportunity to one of these license holders the ability for green crabs to buy them from fishermen and then turn around and resell them. Why is that important? I'm currently doing all of that legwork. And what it means is I spend a lot of time driving around delivering, for me, relatively small amounts of crabs. A wholesaler can put those, deliveries and orders together and come away with something that may be a lot more interesting for them, financially. So for me, what it really does, I want to spend my time on the water fishing, right? That's what I like to do. I also really want to develop the soft shell market next or now. What that means is, you catch green crabs, you have to get them in a condo, they're individually in a condo container, and you have to really watch them pretty close. And when you notice that they're ready to molt, that's when you pull them and get them ready for market. That takes time. That's very labor intensive. And if I'm out driving around delivering crabs, I don't have the time to do that. And this time of year, well, not quite yet, but late May into June, that's when they start to shed. So I don't think things are going to be worked out by then for this year. But down the road, if I could spend more time developing those soft shells and getting a feel for that and getting a market for that, that's maybe $25-30 a pound. They go well. They're like blue crab, right? Soft shell blue crab. So this is something that I think has a lot of potential. It's time limited. So I don't want to be driving around and spending my time on the road when I could be on the water, catching the crabs, looking for the pre-molts, and making sure when I find them, I get them into a condo so that they can molt out. So hopefully there will be some people out there. I've thought about, what happens if I can't fish, right, for some reason. Maybe it's something I would do. Or, I was thinking about in the wintertime, my operation is really just too small. I don't fish in the winter. There are a few people that do fish in the winter, and there are a few people that have green crabs in the winter. Maybe I'd have a wholesale license, and in the wintertime, just go around, buy them, and keep distributing them to restaurants so that they have a year-round, not just a seasonal supply, but year-round. And I think that is what it's probably going to take to see green crab market develop here in Maine. But I support this bill, and I hope you do too. And this is an excellent time to get in touch with your local legislator and let them know that you want them to support LD 1503. Thank you.